And also, when's the last time anybody said, let me go ahead and play that Pusha T diss against Drake just for fun?
So it's been an anniversary for the story of Adidon. But Ebro says it's a major L that shifted the universe. And he's saying it put a ceiling on Drake's legend. Basically saying that, Drake is an elite artist, but that took him down a rung or is going to keep him from being quote unquote whatever. Now, there were some responses to this, and actually the real question for me is why is legacy always talked about as it relates to artists that are currently or still making music? And it goes the same way for sports.
That doesn't matter.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not.
I hate the conversation because your story is still being written.
Yeah,
I
mean, it was a blimp for that moment in time.
But this has no effect on his legacy.
No effect.
Too.
I mean, Pusha served him. He really didn't make it. He has little sneak jabs here and there, but it doesn't amount to that song. Okay, he got off. Pusha got off on that song.
He got off.
But his album sales and popularity still don't equate to what Drake is. So Drake can technically still say I win. Because of his success. Still here.
Now, haven't we, to play devil's advocate, haven't we always said that hip hop is competitive, right?
Yeah,
that's fine.
So if you get smoked, take the sales out of it because that's what we use sometimes.
If you get smoked,
historically, that's going to be the story. You got smoked on said incident.
It depends on what kind of artist you are. So if you get smoked, tuck your tail and don't come out with nothing that anybody can relate to anymore, then yeah, you lose. This happened to Ja Rule, unfortunately.
Okay.
This happened to Lil Flip, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
You got to jab back or you got to come with proper material. He didn't have to do that because of his status. We talked about him being a pop star last week. So there's people that may have heard that don't care anything about that because he's still that dude. He's still got hella fans who ain't trying to hear Pusha T talk about him. They don't care if he won or not. They're still going to say, well, he did this and he did that. It doesn't really matter. He's not an artist that's going to affect.
This is an argument made by somebody who can tell. Like, look, some of y'all,
old man argument.
No, some of y'all don't go outside.
Yeah,
and so you think this had a lot more impact than it did. Shout out to Ebro. Like, we're probably around the same age. I might be older than Ebro, but I'm outside all of the time.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, that's going on more than 5 years ago. Because I remember we were we were going to talk about this on
almost
the podcast.
To the day because it was around Indy 500 time.
Because we recorded it downtown at the pop-up shop.
Yep.
Yes.
With Margaret and Brandon. So shout
out to them.
And at first we were like, oh man, Drake, he served Pusha T
for that moment.
But then we literally heard the response before we started, 15, 20 minutes before we started to record the show. We had to change up the whole format of how we were going to talk about this.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm thinking about everything that's happening during that time, all the moments Drake has had since then. There's no if anything,
he's going on a tour right now this summer, big stadium tour. Mind you, Pusha T did that. He had that energy towards Drake. And it was big hip hop energy. He's still not doing stadium tours unless he's with somebody else.
Now,
when he came here directly after that happening, he was at the Vogue. If Drake came here at that same time, Drake would be downtown
at the field house.
At the field house. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference here.
It's just I get where Ebro is trying to say, but like if you come a real first of all, think about it. After No Vaseline, that was the end of NWA.
What you think, Skis, in terms of Pusha T, and is any effect on Drizzy?
Absolutely not. Yeah, he said it's a major L, but people take losses. It doesn't affect the bottom line number. Like athletes, musicians, professionals, you're still getting paid. You still take the dubs versus the L's, and the many more W's than L's. And
one person agreed with Ebro. They said Drake should have responded. He needed to respond the way he always used to. Similar to the way he responded to Meek and others. He low-key folded in one of the biggest moments, and as a Drake fan, it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's true.
You know what's funny about that, though?
Talk to me.
So on Drake's first commercial album, he said, or it might have been So Far Gone, I don't know, but I know he mentioned this. He said, if you make a diss song about me, I'm not replying. He did reply to the people he thought he could beat after that came out. He replied to Pusha T here and there. But once he got stepped on, it was like, all right, let me go ahead and not respond like I said initially.
Right.
When I first came out.
And also, when's the last time anybody said, let me go ahead and play that Pusha T diss against Drake just for fun? Like like back to back got to the point where it was being played in the club.
It was nominated for a Grammy.
You know,
a diss song was nominated for a Grammy.
You know, and you got to understand
that's kind of,
and this is the crazy thing for me. I've said this before, and I don't know if I've said it here, but I say the best diss records come from a place of admiration and love.